I just came across the XCalendar plugin, which is a plugin for Xamarin.Forms, and I'm hoping to bring it to .NET MAUI as well, which not only looks great, but also has a lot of functionality. So let's go check out how to get started in your own app. Now, first, let's have a look at the GitHub page for this. So this is github.com/me/Xcalendar. As you can see, at the time of recording, it's 16 days ago, the first commit. So it's very brand new. And also Marvin and I have been in touch, and he is a little bit nervous. This is his first plugin, and he's a little bit nervous about his code. So be kind, be gentle to him. And of course, provide him with some issues if you find some stuff that might not be working, or even better, help him out with a couple of pull requests so that we can make this little plugin better and everyone will benefit from that. Now, there's also a lot of documentation that you can do here. Of course, the sources here. He also has a sample app that you can run for Android and iOS, which is really cool, and you can check out all the features. But you can see here already, little spoiler alert, this is how amazing it looks, and you have all these abilities to do things. He has a wiki page where he goes over all the properties that he has right now, and I've been trying it out. Truth be told, there are a couple of things that still need some clarification, I think, but overall it's pretty good with like the functionality that is in there is implemented very cool, very good. So you can see here already all these properties right here. Navigate a day-to-day date. You can select day ranges. Well, actually, let's just seek out how this all works, and how to do that is you have to install the NuGet package. So that's Plugin.XCalendar. Okay, made a mental note of that, and then you just have to add that to your page. So let's go into Visual Studio and let's check out how to get started. So I'm now in Visual Studio for Mac 2022, the preview version. So if you see anything weird, that's probably because it's preview bits. I'm also trying to use the latest bits here and provide some feedback to the team who is working on that. So bear with me. You can see on the left a Xamarin.Forms file new project basically. So this is just the template that comes out of the box. On the left, you can see it running on the iOS simulator. Now, first things first, let's update the title right here. So let's do here Xcalendar sample. I'm not sure if I can keep using hot reload, which what you see, the magic is happening here. I can something edit on the left side and it will automatically update on my running app on the right side. But with the calendar, it didn't work as great. So I'm not sure if that's something in the calendar or the Visual Studio for Mac preview bits. So I might be restarting the app here and there, but it will all show up nicely. I will make some cuts if it takes too long. So we've updated the title, the Xcalendar sample, and now it's time to bring in our calendar plugin. So let's go over to our Solution Explorer, and I'm going to right-click on the solution, and I'm going to say Manage NuGet Packages, and I'm going to find the Plugin.XCalendar, because that was the name, right? So we should see that pop up here. Also, I see Marvin could still use a great icon for this Xcalendar, so if you're more of a graphical person, make a beautiful icon and contribute that. So you can see not a lot of downloads yet. It is updated a couple of days ago at the time of recording, which is really great. This plugin has just been released. So that's how cutting edge we are on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. So let's add this package. We're going to add this to all of the projects right here and click OK. So it should install that. Now, what it does, it's going to bring in the Xamarin Community Toolkit. It uses some stuff in the Xamarin Community Toolkit, which is really great. And I've also been in touch with Marvin to ask if he maybe wants to contribute this to the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit. So we don't have that dependency anymore, and it will be inside of the box for .NET MAUI. How cool is that? If you don't know what the Xamarin Community Toolkit is, please check out the playlist that's popping up on your screen right now or down below, linked in the comments, so that you can check out all the APIs that are in the Xamarin Community Toolkit and will also be in the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit, because it's really amazing. All kinds of controls and tools that you don't want to miss whenever you do Xamarin.Forms or .NET MAUI development. Now, while I was talking, the plugin was successfully added. So now I can just remove all of these labels right here. I don't need those, and I can start implementing my calendar view. It doesn't know this yet because I haven't imported the right namespace here. So let's just name this, well, actually XC, because it's Xcalendar. And now our IntelliSense will automatically pick up on the XC, and it will say, hey, should I add this XML namespace Xcalendar right here? And it will do that here at the top, and it will put the calendar view right here. Now, I installed this new NuGet, so the screen is going to go blank here on the right. It doesn't know how to use that NuGet yet, so we have to restart the app in a little bit. No worries about that. But let us explore what is in here. So, of course, all the Xamarin.Forms stuff is in here. Automation ID, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about that. So we have the auto rows. Auto rows, I think, has something to do with like how many rows it shows for the calendar, like how many days are in there. And the auto rows tells you like, hey, should I do this automatically, or are you going to have control over the rows property, right? So you can also set that because maybe you just want to show 1 week, right? And that is all possible with this control as well. Now, what else do we got? Clamp navigated date to day range. I don't even know what that means, but it has to do something with dates. So I think you can do control templates. I think you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with templates and show how the selected date looks like and do all this crazy stuff, which makes it, really flexible to put it inside of your layout and really like make it feel like it belongs there. So that's going to be really cool. Of course, date selection changed, day, current, month, next text color, all kinds of day names things. So you can see there's a lot of APIs to work with here. So let's just start actually with this date selection changed. It will create a new event handler, which it could not do. I'm not sure why. Maybe it still did it secretly in the background. Nope, it did not. Okay, so let's just make this private void like this. And it was object. Just trying to do this from the top of my head. Sender, event args. So I also already opened an issue to make these event arcs more specific, because right now it's just generic event arcs, and it would be cool if you had some kind of date or calendar event arcs, which will also tell you like the date that has been selected, right? So I already opened an issue for that. You don't have to do that yourself. Now, if we can then do display alert, and then we actually need date changed. So we actually might need a reference to our calendar, right? Let's make this okay. So I need to go back to my main page, give the calendar view a little X name right here, calendar, and then it should pick up on the calendar, and I can query that for like the selected date, right? So, and let's make that to string so that we have the selected date in a string and a dialog box coming up whenever we select something. But of course, you can do all kinds of other crazy things here. I think to make this work, we need to set the selection mode. So we also have a selection mode. We can set that to single, but you can also select multiple dates. That is cool, right? So we're going to set this to single for now. And well, let's just see what this does actually. So let me stop and restart the application real quick. So our app is built. It's coming back up here on the iOS simulator, and we should be seeing a calendar right about now. Well, there we are. And without styling anything, it already looks, well, I mean, what's there to look amazing about a calendar, right? It's just the rows with dates, but still, it could be worse than this. So, you can just navigate through this. You have these little arrows here, and we can actually start selecting things. So if I select the 17th, then you get the dialog saying, hey, the date changed to the 17th. And it also marks, I'm not sure if that's like really clear in the video, but it also marks the current date with like the 31st at the time of recording. So, you can see that with a different color, but also there are many options to style that. And I think you can also, like, of course, disable that so that you don't show like the current date that is today, which I probably should have done because now this video kind of like has an expiration date, right? But yeah, this just works, and that is really amazing. So let me quickly actually this is how to get started with this amazing cool calendar control. But let me just quickly bring up the sample control, the sample app that comes with this control, and also I will do that in Android so you can see what is going on here and how amazing it looks on Android as well, and what all the options are. Okay, so back in Visual Studio for Mac 2022, but now I got the sample app for this project open, and you can see on the left like the calendar view that's implemented there, I think with like all the properties, and you can see it's a lot, right? So there is all these kinds of things. The background color, of course, navigation, arrow background color, arrow color. You can set all the properties on the thing actually, so that is really amazing. Of course, the thing that's actually about selected dates, minimum dates, and a navigation loop mode. So I think whenever you reach like the max or the minimum date right here, you can loop through the calendar and it will show you like the same thing or other things. So there is a lot in here. And with this UI, which is really amazing, is you can set kind of all these properties. So if I set not auto rows, which I mentioned earlier, and I set the rows to 1, for instance here, and I swipe to view the actual calendar, you can see that we just have this one row, right? So that is really cool, and you can just show this 1 week. And I think I can select something here which shows up as red, or I can switch between the default selection mode, which will just make the text red, and you can just swap these things right here. And you have all these options to kind of play here with, so that is really cool. Let me set it back for auto row so you can see the kind of full picture here. You can see the full calendar going on. This also had the selection mode set to multiple, so you can see I can set multiples, and you can see that the today date is also outlined, so not just the text color set to green, but it's also outlined like this. So there is lots and lots of options with this cool plugin. So there's that. This video told you all about how to use the XCalendar plugin for Xamarin.Forms. I'm hoping to bring this to .NET MAUI as well, and hopefully, make this a little bit more robust. Make sure to try out the plugin, and whenever you do, let Marvin know on his repository that you've used it and how you liked it, and maybe open an issue or contribute to him with a couple of PRs. That would be amazing as well. I need to do a quick shout out to the latest member on my channel, Alexander Rokic. Thank you so much for joining this channel as a senior member. Please check out the join button below to see what that's all about. If you are a new viewer on this channel, I hope you'll like this video. Please don't forget the subscribe button, and for everyone watching, please click the like button on this video so that it spreads to all the people out there, and all the people will know about this wonderful calendar control. Thank you so much, much appreciated. And of course, if you want to know more about Xamarin.Forms plugins that probably also work with .NET MAUI, at least at some point, check out this video about biometrics securing your app with Face ID and thumbprint scanners, or check out this playlist right here with all the Xamarin plugins on my channel. See you next time.